I know it's a non-deal conference. It's a great occasion for me to meet investors in casino bonds and meet all these hedge funds and asset managers, have feedbacks and have usually very fruitful exchanges, I would say.
David, then my obvious question, and not dissociated, what have you learned?
Well, I will meet them today, actually, so it's a bit too soon. But in the previous two occasions where I went there, the previous 2 years, it was usually a very good occasion to have feedbacks on their view on the market, their view on casino, and to put out the message. The key message I would put out today is that at Casino we are back in growth in the French food retail business since latest July with 5% growth, and that our Latin American companies are doing extremely well. And one specific recent news I will likely discuss today with investors is the recent announcement of a spin-off of our Colombian subsidiary, Éxito, which will become a separate entity and give Casino 3 separate listed assets, Éxito, GPA and SI, the total combined value of them being around 2.6 billion euros today, and likely more later if the spin-off works as we expect it to do.
David, can I ask you about the French consumer at this point? We've been watching high inflation everywhere, including in France. It's ECB day today. Have you noticed any tightening in spending by French consumers at this point?
In France, we have lower inflation than in the average of Europe today. Latest INSEE data shows inflation around 6%, so it's quite lower than the rest of Europe. One reason being that there has been government efforts to limit the increase in electricity price for households and to limit also fuel price increases. So this has helped to tame a bit inflation. And that means so far consumption is holding well, which means when we see, for instance, the food retail market is growing basically close to the level of inflation. There hasn't been a cutback on consumption in France at this stage.
David, it's been a tough sector in recent years, given the disruption we've seen from new players, online players, and the sector has moved very aggressively to build out its own online platforms or logistics services. I know that you have this deal with Ocado. You've extended the agreement. What role does online play in the sort of investments you can make, given the very tough market environment now?
Yeah, online is an important part of the distinctive features of Casino. We have been growing 20% in the first half of the year in food retail online business. In online, basically in France, you have drive-thrus and home delivery. And the part of the market that is growing right now is home delivery, especially in the greater Paris area, but also in other big cities in France. And we have basically 3 key partnerships to ensure a strong performance in this area. One is the one you just mentioned, the Ocado partnership. We are very glad to have this exclusive access to the Ocado technology in France. We also have a good partnership with Amazon in several cities, not only Paris, but cities such as Lyon, Montpellier, Nantes. And we also have now recently a partnership with Gorillas to address quick commerce consumers. And on top of that, of course, our strength is that we have a very dense network of stores, 8,000 stores in France, and we can also deliver from the stores. So for us, it's a very useful complement to our store operations.